just to basically play, and we knew it was going to be chances, and that's exactly what we did. So yeah, it was nice.
You're obviously a very aggressive player, but how much are you enjoying the physical element of the Premier League as well? Do you think it suits your style?
Yeah, it's been good so far, so I'm not complaining.
And it's now your second successive hat-trick in 2 consecutive halves. I mean, do you set yourself targets? How do you view the start that you've made here?
No, I try to listen as much as I can to Pep and to play with the boys, because it's amazing footballers, and without them I would not be able to score goals. You know, so it's about finding chemistry. It's about playing together and to listen to Pep.
That's the thing, there's such an array of attacking options within this team. It must be a joy to be in there, and you know the chances are going to come. Yeah,
it's fantastic, and also that's why I came here. You can see we play so good, we find each other, and it will become even better, so it's going to be nice.
In your eyes, do you feel the team is starting to find some momentum, given the performance out there today, going into a really busy and important period?
Yeah, it's important to keep going, you know. It's going to be a lot of games, so it's important to keep going and to enjoy as much as we can, because in the end we have to win games.
Well done today, thank you.
Well played, that man. It's fair to say he does his talking on the pitch. But you know what, if you're a City fan, you don't care. If he keeps on talking like that, then that's just fine.
Yeah. His outcome, he's there to score goals, and if he gets himself in them positions, he'll continue to do that. And yeah, it was a remarkable effort from him tonight, and the team as well. The team performance was outstanding.
What I really want to do is try and work out from all three of you, right? If you're now an opposition defender, manager, player, doesn't matter your position, watching that tonight, how do you work out how to stop him from doing that against you?
I don't think you stop him. I think you have to stop the supply line. I think that's equally as important. It's when them players decide to turn up and decide the game, you don't stop them. That's why they're world class. But in regards to the chances he's getting, can you nullify them? Because again, he's not doing anything glamorous in regards to his finishing. It's just the positions he's picking up. So as a defender, you'd think, well, when the ball goes in the box, where is he? It may not look like a great position on paper, but where is he? And if I'm tight to him, the ball seems to fall to him, so you're going to have a chance of clearing it.
Yeah, I think, you know, a big part of it is concentration, tight to your man, and try your best to stop him. Like Julian said, you know, the chances that Man City create is there. If you can stop that supply, you got half a chance. But I think many teams have tried to stop Man City's supply of chances created, and it's, you know, not many teams have been successful. So it's a tough task. But I think Forest at the end of the day have to put this one to bed as soon as possible and focus on the next game.
No, I would agree. I think it's difficult. As Julian says there, you've got to stop the supply. And it's so difficult to do that against a Manchester City team that dominate possession the way that they do. You go out and press one, they pop it off to the next one, there's another man free. They have 2 or 3 players in spaces all of the time. And if you don't cut off that supply, you have a man like HAALAND in the box who just dominates that 6-yard box, and he proves that today.
And he does dominate it. I mean, he just literally deals in goals, doesn't he? In that first half, he only touched the ball 12 times, 6 in the box. 3 times it went into the back of the net.
Oh, his efficient rate is outstanding. Like I said, he just seems to know where this ball's going to fall, and I think it was one of the chances for Alvarez. The Alvarez goal as well, he's in the right areas if there is any spillages, but here you could just see the strength. He's just holding off Worrell there, and I think it was Salah on the weekend that went with the outside of his left and missed a similar opportunity, but he's just found the net, and he just seemed to do that all night.
It's the way he pulled Worrell away, didn't he? To create that space, to give himself that space to get that chance. But here where he presses the goalkeeper, just forces Forest into making mistakes, and then he's alive again for the ricochet that just falls to him, and he just puts it away. But he's always alive. He's always alive inside the box, and good goal scorers are alive in the box, and he's proved that tonight. Not just tonight, he's proved that since he's joined the Premier League. We was all wondering, you know, would he get off to a good start, and he has. He's flying.
I would assume it's a better start than he anticipated. But if you look at all of his chances, he's the first one to react to this next pass. Is it coming to me? No. Oh, well, I'm going to get back inside the width for the post. And here, he's the first one to react, and he's up in the air before anyone's even close to reacting. So it must be a natural instinct that he has that defenders don't have, and not many strikers have, in my opinion.
Well, let's just talk about how much of an impact he's had, how quickly. I mean, we can have a look there. His first 5 games, the most Premier League goals scored, and look at the list, the players that he's ahead of. Nice to see Timo Pukki there. Did you expect him to have this much of an impact this quickly? He had a big reputation, big price tag, but this is still quite something.
I think, everyone saw what he did at Dortmund. Could he replicate that in the Premier League? That was the big question mark. To be honest, I thought it was going to take more time to settle. Watched him in the Community Shield and had that chance that didn't go in, and there's a bit of criticism. But since then, he's not looked back at that. He's not dwelled on that, and his return's astonishing.
Feels like it suits him, this league, more than anything else.
I feel like what we knew about him coming into the league is he's a goal scorer, just a natural goal scorer. You can see with his movement how good he is in the box. And what we know about Manchester City is they create chances. So if you put the two together, it marries up really well, and he's proved it. The chances that are falling to him, they look easy, as we spoke about before. But you've got to be in the right place at the right time, and he anticipates those spaces. He anticipates to get into there before anybody else, before defenders, before his teammates. And that's why he's successful here at the moment.
And look, you can talk about stopping the supply line, or you can talk about stopping him. But if you do that, then they've got players like Cancelo that can go and score goals like this. I mean, it's the impossible conundrum for the opposition at the moment.
Yeah, he doesn't score simple goals, does he? I think he's one of the most exciting fullbacks in world football, if not the most exciting. Yes, we're lucky to have some exceptional talent in fullback areas in England, and English as well. But Cancelo, for me, he finds himself 1v1 in attacking areas so many times, and he's so comfortable in possession. So, yeah, if he was English, he would be right up there in terms of our comparisons to Trent and Reece James.
So give me your expectations then for City this season. I mean, we start every year with Jolyon coming in saying they're going to win all four, which he's entitled to do because he loves them, and that's fine. But when you look at them now, 19 goals, that's more than they've scored in the opening 5 games of any other Premier League season. What can they do this season, do you both think?
Whatever they want to achieve. I think, look, with Pep and Manchester City and the fans, they want the Champions League. I think HAALAND is a big statement in knowing that they want to go for it this year. I think they've scored a lot more goals this season, but they've also leaked a lot of goals, and hence why Pep's probably in the market to bring a defender in, because he won't be happy with the goals they've conceded and having to fight back from being 2-0 down in 2 games already in the Premier League. So look, they can achieve whatever they want to achieve. I think they're a phenomenal team. I think they're outright winners of the Premier League, and I know Arsenal are sitting pretty at the moment, but I just can't see anybody, being better than Manchester City this year.
Champions League is now their moment.
Yeah, that's the holy grail for Man City. They've tried season after season, not quite got there, but the addition of HAALAND could be the difference. We'll see how they get on, but they're going to be a force to be reckoned with. That's for certain. And I think in the Premier League as well, you look at the usual challenges in the likes of Liverpool, maybe Chelsea. They haven't quite clicked into gear yet. So obviously Man City is flying. Arsenal's doing very, very well. So it's going to be interesting to see how that plans out. But Champions League is definitely the one that they need in the cabinet.
You feel that keeping HAALAND fit is actually key, and he's going to get a nice break over the winter. But obviously he did have injury issues in Germany as well. Would you be tempted to rotate him a little bit when the opportunity allows? We thought that might happen tonight, didn't we? Yeah,
I think you can look at that. I think if, say in the Champions League, if they've got 10 points after 4 games, 12 points possibly, I think then there may be a rotation policy in place in regards to HAALAND. But whilst he's scoring goals, strikers know when they're hot, why would you take them out? I know City score goals in numbers, but in regards to HAALAND, if he's fearful, like with no defender looking forward to playing against him, there'll be no one thinking, I'm going to stop him today, because there's so many chances that City create and he puts them away. It
makes it easier though when you have a player like Alvarez as something of a backup to him, and he comes in tonight, makes his first start for Manchester City and gets 2 goals. It's a great start. You can see Pep here, giving him some instructions as they come out of the half, and it looked like he took what Pep's saying here on board, because straight away you started to see these runs beyond the back line. You can see him here where he's highlighted, and he just runs beyond, and Mahrez with a beautiful pass through, and this finish is good, hard and low, right at the keeper's feet, and difficult for the keeper to save, but he did this continuously throughout the second half, and we heard Jolyon say that Aguero compared him to the work rate of Tevez and the finishing of Aguero, and he proved that with both of his goals today. He can finish. There was a great moment towards the end, actually, wasn't there, where we saw him running, tracking back, putting in tackles. He'll get the plaudits for his finishing like this and for his effort going forwards. But again, if you don't work hard in this team, you don't play in this team. Oh, definitely, and that's an outstanding finish with his so-called weaker foot, and he hit the post, remember, as well. So he could have possibly had a hat-trick, but yeah,
we shouldn't be surprised by the talent that he has, but yeah, the work rate that he's put in tonight and showcased, I don't think if there is a period where Haaland's missing, I don't think they'll stutter.
You've seen the efforts he's made there, edge of the box. They were defending a free kick and he's eating up the ground to get into the box, to get onto the end of that. So, you know, he's determined, he wants to score goals and he's proved that. And as you said, it was a great finish.
Now, Wes, do you remember the last time Forest conceded 6 goals in a league game?
No, remind me.
I think it was against Ipswich.
Right.
I think you might have started the game.
Yeah, wiped out.
Do you remember it?
Out of the memory.
What I was going to say.
He's on the Premier League since then.
We know that. We know that. But look, you know what it feels like to be on the receiving end of a scoreline like this. How hard is it going to be for Steve to do what he needs to do and get those players going again?
Yeah, you know, Steve would have gone into this game knowing if they got anything out of it, it would have been a bonus. You know, when you look at the fixtures throughout the season, the Man City is the top 6 teams. You kind of, you don't, write them off, but you think, right, if we get anything out of these games, it's a bonus. So obviously it's not nice being on the end of a 6-0 beating, but you have to quickly put that behind you and focus on to the next game. And that's what Steve will do. You know, he'll concentrate on making sure the boys are, kind of put it to bed, make sure the boys are kind of reflect on the game, but not dwell on the game. And the next game's Bournemouth, and they should be thinking, right, this is a game we need to get back on track, get some points and get some out of the game. On paper, that's a nice next game for them, actually.
Yeah, and it's possibly horrible for Bournemouth. Similar to Wolves tonight, you know that it's going to be tough. You know they're not going to want to concede, never mind concede 6 or 9. So in regardless to going to Bournemouth on the weekend, that'll be tough for them because it will hurt their pride a little bit, obviously collectively and individually, because they're used to winning. They get promoted. That's the thing with promoted teams. They're used to winning and having that confidence and momentum. But when you come into the Premier League, if you have an off night, and they didn't play that bad in regards to making mistakes, it was just City were that good and you end up losing 6-0.
Sure. OK, well, let's hear from Steve Cooper then. He's talking to Emma Dodds.
Steve, you knew it was going to be a tough game. How do you reflect on that one tonight?
Well, I have to say, first and foremost, they're an incredible team, and you have to be more than perfect to succeed against them. But at the same time, I thought that we were naive with the goals that we give away in the first half, which then made it an even tougher task than what it was at the start. We've first and third goals are from set pieces. Another third one was a second and third phase. And the second goal, we're trying to build up, and we've made a couple of errors in letting them get into our box too easy. And so not only do you have to play really, really well, you have to make sure you don't give away really soft goals, and that's what we've done. And then half time, I just asked the boys not to give up and to stick together, and to there was no ranting and raving. It was just about show character, and we didn't give up in the game. We kept going, and but again, goals second half that we look at them thinking we can do so much better with, and a massive learning curve in the game is just how ruthless the league is, and particularly these teams right at the top. They're brilliant. So tough night. Supporters were amazing. Thank you to them. They never gave up either, and what we've got to make sure now is that we draw a line under it quickly. It won't define us. I'll make sure of that. That's my responsibility, and we get ready now for a game at home on Saturday.
Is that the thing, the realisation, you mentioned they're a special team, you're up against some special players, that you won't face that every week. You've said it there, you won't let it define your season.
No, and to be honest, I'm glad the game's out of the way, because this is the, maybe with one or two others, Liverpool, etc., away from home is the toughest challenge, as we said beforehand, that you'll face. So, they are brilliant, no doubt about that. We needed to be perfect and to get something in the game, including a good performance, and we weren't, and they punished us for that.
You managed to get some more game time for some of the new signings, but can I ask you just how close the Willy Bolly signing is? Is that
I'm not sure. I've not spoken to anyone today, so I'm sure I'll hear later on from the board.
Listen, a tricky night for them, but as he said, we have to be more than perfect. And actually, we all know there's no easy game in the Premier League, but you would look at those if you're Steve Cooper, and you'd think that actually, Fulham, Bournemouth, Leicester having a tough time of it at the moment, Aston Villa at times as well. They're okay. They're not easy, but they're okay.
Yeah, we've seen some great signs from Forest this season. You know, they're more than capable of putting a good performance in, particularly at home. They've been really solid, really good, and picked up some good results. And looking at the fixtures coming, and Steve will be thinking, right, this is where we need to start picking up some points, leading into November in a better position in the league. And yeah, hopefully they'll forget about obviously the Man City result. As Steve said in his interview, you know, draw a line under it pretty quickly and move on to the next game.
And you know what? I sometimes think we're guilty of losing perspective in football when we see score lines like this. Let's just remind ourselves that 12 months ago tonight, Nottingham Forest were bottom of the Championship with 1 point on the board. That's the reality here. What an amazing change in 12 months.
Unbelievable achievement, even to get themselves promoted into the Premier League and losing the players they did. They had a lot of loanees. They've had to bring in 18 new players. So in this short space of time, trying to get that team to play in a certain way, it's going to take time. Cooper would have chunked the season out, and he would have known the games and points that were possible to take from the opening 5 games. And we've just seen them 6 games there that they've got next. And I'm sure if he looks at that next 6 fixtures, he'll be quite happy knowing that he can take points and good points from that to get him in a good position going into the November before the World Cup break.
Yeah, well, they've got some great fans, some good players, and a brilliant manager as well. So